Okay, welcome to our first session. So this video is going to be more of a breakdown of our practice and a bit of space for setting an intention for the next 40-day journey. And as you continue on, you can refer to another video that goes straight into the practice without any of the introduction and talking. So this is a practice called meditation for self-blessing guidance by intuition. And intuition's like a really big word in the Kundalini circle and in probably many spiritual environments in our day and age. And that is because our intuition is our most important sort of compass internally. So knowing what is aligned within ourselves and then following that are two separate things. And I feel that this practice may be a beautiful blending of the two to give us the material strength in a way. That means physically, that means in terms of our willpower to actually follow what we know to be true, right? Sometimes I have like an intuitive hit or like a little voice in the back of my head that's saying, I don't think so, or yeah, go do that thing, stop with that other thing. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, are you sure? And I just sort of like, just give me that little affirmation again. So then it's like, okay, I know. And what am I going to do about it? So we're holding the arms up for this practice. That'll give a certain grit to your physical and sense of like, I can do this, and let me try to push through any mental resistance that might come up to that physical discomfort. And there's also a mantra. So that mantra is going to help redirect the mind to a consistent rhythm, a consistent sound current that is really what mantra is all about, helping the mind cross over any sort of distraction so that it can be really still and focused and ultimately come into this space of shunya. Shunya is this word that means zero or reducing all of the many fluctuations that we'll experience in the mind to a point of stillness, to a point of nothing. I've been getting back into Joe Dispenza's work, and he works a lot with this as we can release and shed all of the layers of ego and identity and attachment to labels and ideas of who we are, who we're not, or who people think we are, or whatever, and get to that 0 point. Then we become these like really clear vessels for energy. So it's not necessarily the energy that is going to do or not do something, but it's personally for each and every one of us, how clear, how receptive is my specific vessel to that energy so that I can be sort of a puppet in the hands of the universe or the divine, and not in a way where there's no free will. Of course, we have that free will, but in a way that there's a really powerful co-creative energy. And I think we are being used, right? Depending on what we're focusing on. I might be used by a political agenda. I might be used by a media opinion or a sort of package of ideas that's marketed to me. So sadhana is a really brilliant space for us to get super clear on what energy am I using and what energy is using me. And what's the sort of like place where I have discrimination and also the discernment and the determination to use. So let's get into the practice. We start with a little bit of mantra, so you can close your eyes for a minute and just ground into a space of connection to this sadhana, to your own personal empowering space. landing within your body, feeling what is present for you this morning, this full moon day. The full moon is in the sign of Capricorn, both in sidereal astrology and tropical. So Vedic and Western agree on the sign of the full moon today, which is kind of wonderful because I'm always torn between the two. And so just know that the energy is inviting discipline and rewarding that sense of ownership over how we use our time to the highest and best use in our spiritual journeys. It's also Guru Purnima, so the day that we can really honor and celebrate the grace of the teachers in our lives and the gifts that they give us, the own inner teacher, that intuitive voice. And take a moment to check in. Why are you here? What do you hope to cultivate with this commitment that you're making, moment to moment, day to day? We can tune in. So you're welcome to bring your hands into prayer or in any posture that helps you sort of unify your energy at the heart in balance. We'll honor the creative consciousness and our teachers with the mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo, connecting to this golden chain, this parampara of mercy, of love that is moved through person to person, teacher to student, heart to heart. Let's breathe in and breathe out. We'll chant 3 times, inhaling. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And big inhale, filling up the belly, lungs, chest, suspending the breath for a moment. And then exhale, release. Okay, so just take a moment to stretch into the body. You can open up the sides or come into some cat-cows. So just a few breaths into our torso, especially, that facilitates breath work. Stretching any way the body feels nourished. So pranayama in the journey of yoga comes after asana, and it's most effective when the body is open and receptive to that subtle energy. So doing a nice set of sun salutes or just a few deep stretches is always helpful to create a good foundation for our pranayama practice. All right, and then let's come back to center, tall spine, and we'll start priming the lungs with some breath of fire. So this is a practice called ego eradicator. The fingers curl in and the thumbs stretch out, arms extend up to 60 degrees. Just create a nice lifted chest, shoulders soft, relaxed, chin drop towards the throat. Eyes are closed, but looking up, rolling up towards the crown, and hold that gaze up so you feel a little bit of pressure. And then we'll practice breath of fire. So that's an inhale, exhale through the nose, nice, rapid, steady pace. And let's begin. So inhaling, exhaling rapidly, powerfully through the nose. Find your own pace that you can sustain. And the navel is going to move in and out with this breath. That's good. We want that. And just find that steady, clearing energy of the breath of fire. The arms extend out, really feeling that energy, that clearing happening through the meridians in the arms, in the chest, in the heart. Good. Inhale, big breath. Stretch the arms overhead, bringing the thumb tips to touch, and then uncurling the fingers, letting them reach up, palms open. Hold your breath, keeping a throat that's relaxed, extending up through the arms, maybe feeling that pelvic floor lift, that energy fly up the spine, reaching. And then exhale slowly, bring your arms out to the sides and down, and sweeping that space around you. Fingertips touching the ground and shoulders relaxed. All right. And then we'll start our 11-minute practice. There's a few things going on here in terms of drishti, mantra, and then asana, the physical position of the body. So the eyes are 1/10 open, meaning not very much at all. It's like you're closing your eyes, or more so than closing, just kind of relaxing the eyelids down. And there's a little bit of light that's coming in at the base of your eyelids. So 1/10 open. Not necessarily looking down or at the tip of the nose, though you can, if that helps kind of ground your gaze, but just lowering the eyelids, letting them soften. And then the arms are going to be up in a circular sort of arc around your upper region, your upper aura. This is called the arc line. So in Kundalini, there's 10 subtle bodies, and one of those subtle bodies is called the arc line. It's sort of like our halo, and we're enshrouding that arc line with the arms, 6 to 8 inches from the palms to the top of your head. So they're hovering 6 to 8 inches over your crown. And then the hands are about 12 inches apart. So a foot apart and 6 to 8 inches from the top of your head. And your thumbs are hanging down. They're separate from the other fingers. Okay, so that's the physical position, the drishti. And then we are breathing in a rhythm of 8 strokes or 8 strokes, yeah, 8 beats on the inhale, 8 beats on the exhale. So it might be a little bit challenging. I encourage you to stick with it. Okay, just do your best. If that means you have to start slow and take breaks, do that. More important that you're honest with what you can do and keep trying and keep coming back instead of forcing to perfection and then giving up because it's too hard. And then we're going to, after the 8 exhales out, we're going to hold the breath out for 16 counts, the same beat, same rhythm. As we do this, mentally, we're going to repeat the mantra Saa-Taa-Naa-Maa. So this mantra is a breaking down of the mantra Satnam, or I'm an eternal spirit soul. That's my essence. That's my identity. That's my name, truth. That's a quality of the soul, is Sat Chit Ananda. So the Sat part is that which is true, and true in the past, present, future, that which is eternal. So the soul is my true identity. And the Saa-Taa-Naa-Maa, it represents eternity, life, death, rebirth. Those are sort of the definitions that are given for each of those sound currents: Saa-Ta-Naa-Maa, eternity, life, death, rebirth. And this mantra is said to be sort of like a code that helps move anything out of the subconscious mind that is in opposition to that true identity. So any patterns that are sort of keeping you from realizing who you truly are start to become obsolete. When we do an 8-part breath in and 8-part breath out, what that does and like breaking it up into these like rhythmic strokes, it starts to set a deep balance into the nervous system. And then when we hold the breath out, that triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. So we're inviting healing, rest, and repair into our systems, into our organs, into the communication, the metabolic function between all of these elements in the body. It's said that this practice also helps to create a more whole brain so that all the parts are communicating effectively and empowering the pituitary and the pineal glands, which are responsible for our hormonal balance, responsible for our sleep and wake cycles, and more so than that, also esoterically, sort of the gateway to higher consciousness and a connection that's like can't be bought except for when we do this work. So let's do it. Everyone in? No, it's a lot of things to take note of and be on top of, but it's a little practice will help get it set. Okay, so inhale in 8 beats. So it looks like, it sounds like. So that's going to take some finessing, right? At first, you might be like, oh, the first breath I took in was a little too much. And now I feel like I don't have room for the next 7 inhales. Just keep doing your best, do what you can. And then you'll finesse it. You'll feel it out how you can evenly break up the breath into those 8 equal parts for inhaling and 8 equal parts for exhaling. Imagine that sort of container of your torso and your lungs broken up into 8 little segments. And then the 8-part out, and then we're holding the breath out for 16. So mentally repeating the mantra Saa-Ta-Naa-Maa. So you can just repeat Saa-Ta-Naa-Maa 2 times on the inhale, 2 times on the exhale, 4 times on the hold of the breath out. When we hold the breath out, one little thing I want you to just kind of like tune into, keep the navel pulled back towards the spine, the chin slightly in, and the body is relaxed. There might be like a little bit of a panic instinct that kicks in because of no breath in the system. Try to sit with that. If it becomes overwhelming, of course, inhale. Don't force or strain ever. If you become dizzy, stop. Just kind of respect where you're at and then come back to it the next day. All right, let's do it. So bring your hands overhead, eyes at 1/10. And then we'll begin 8-part. Inhale, Saa-Taa-Naa-Maa, Saa-Taa-Naa-Maa. 8-part. Exhale, Saa-Taa-Naa-Maa, Saa-Taa-Naa-Maa. And then 16-part, holding the breath out, mentally repeating that mantra. And continue that pattern. Okay, now we're finished. Inhale deep. Stretch your arms up high, reach, 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 and reach your arms backwards and up. Drop your head back and look up. Stretch with all your strength, extending your lower back, your neck. And then exhale, release your arms down. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale deep, raise your arms up high, up and back, stretch, drop your head back. Exhale, let it go, come down. And one more time. Relax. Just drop in, meditate here in this space. Just feel its presence, feel it become absorbed or land. This is what came up for you in this process. So I'll offer just a little bit of guidance. If this applies to you, I can only share from my experience. But oftentimes when we hold the breath out, when I hold the breath out, there's this sense, this desire of like, I need to inhale, right? And so when you take your next inhale, there's almost like this desperate grasping for the breath, which can interrupt the rhythmic segmentation that we're doing with this breath, right? Because it's just like a quick inhale and a quick inhale. It's like we're breaking the inhale up into these 8 beats. So that's sort of like wanting to take the breath in and really like inhale can be mitigate if there's like this sort of like hunger to inhale that it interrupts that rhythm. I found that I need to like actually become a little more powerful and intentional and clear with that next breath. So it becomes a sharper inhale, not just like this soft little swipey or wispy inhale. Wispy was the word I was looking for, right? So it's like this really sharp, strong inhale, the first breath after holding the breath out, so that that segmentation can be sort of consistent. And then there's obviously the sort of, there's 2 pressures that I felt happening: the upward pressure of the arms and then the downward pressure of holding the breath out. And that's what this is all about. It's creating leverage of energy systems and pressure systems, right? Just like the weather. So with the pressure out and then the pressure up and in starts to motivate and move that energy, that Kundalini energy up. And that's what we're doing and what I experienced a bit. I'd love to hear anyone else's feedback or questions if there are. This first session was quite long, so it's not always like this.
Felt that panic when I was on that last.
Oh, Jennifer or Robin, sorry. Yeah.
What?
You're breaking up.
It's because I have crap internet.
Okay, it worked when you said that.
That I felt.
Maybe then it's breaking up. I can't hear you.
Forget it. I quit.
But I heard you felt pressure, so that's common. Anyone else feel that? That's how we.
That morning, Alex, I definitely felt like what you said, that desire to like catch it back really quickly. Yeah, that like I noticed that, and I haven't practiced Kundalini in a long time, so I don't have Kundalini arms, and so yeah, I was like really feeling the burn in my shoulders. um, so I did take a couple of breaks and just noticed like that this is my beginning point in this 40-day practice today. So I'll be interested to see what it's like moving forward. So thank you for saying that. It was like what you said was also what I was experiencing.
Cool. Yeah, the arms up is definitely the like poking and prodding at our uh, grit, that Saturn energy.
Alicia, I liked how you said that this is the beginning of, this is your starting point for this 40-day practice, because I was reflecting on that same thing during those difficult moments, especially with the breath, holding the breath out for 16 counts. I did not do it once, but that's my starting point. And there's a lot of wonder in that for me, the kind of, you know, opportunity to just keep getting to know myself and keep expanding those possibilities too within my physical body, and how that translates to the energy and connectedness that I feel within myself and outside of myself.
Thank you for sharing that. Yep. I think the arm part is there's this like saying poke, provoke, confront, elevate. And that's sort of the gift and the responsibility of the teacher, but also like that's life. The life is the teacher, and we get poked and provoked and that confronting. But then the elevate part is where sometimes I don't make that last part. I definitely can provoke and confront. So I'm grateful that this is like, sadhana is the elevate part. This is the space for us to like bring that in, for me to bring that in, to see the difficulties with the light of actually, this is alchemy. This is like the kitchen. This is where I can get messy and all the things can come up, and it's a safe container for that. And it's me and me and God, and we're doing it together. But we're also all confronting and going through that same journey in our own ways. And so the elevate part is like, okay, that's the intention. That's why we tune in at the beginning, because we create that container to elevate. So I do feel supported, not just by, these practices, which are themselves sort of like the teachers in a different form, but also by like this unseen realm of um, ancestors, angels, gurus. They're all there with us. So hopefully elevation can be an outcome as well. And also to be in the muck, because that's like there's new nourishment in the compost. Anywho, I'm going to stop talking, and thank you. Love y'all. Thanks for sticking with it. I hope to see you tomorrow, and I'll record another one, and it's just a straight practice, and then you can do it whenever. Oh, let's close. Sorry, we usually close with a set down. So we'll inhale. Sat-Nam. Peace to all, love to all, light to all. May you be blessed. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.